Okay, this is Matt Mrozek. This is the Mark DeMello Alpha 3 Batman done. Hopefully you guys have stuck through all the work in progress videos. There's a lot of them. I'll have roughly 12 hours of how-to, how I did things, techniques, all that stuff. Unfortunately, these videos will not be released until production starts, so it could be a few months. I'm hoping Mark will release them sooner. Especially the photography one, because it's very helpful for anyone who wants to take photos of their models and how I do it. But this is really an amazing piece. The only issue with the kit, and I've talked to Mark about this, is that the cape makes some contact with the base in the back, and you have to be careful when you're putting it together that you don't scrape the paint. Basically what I do is I put paper towels on the whole statue underneath the cape while I'm putting the cape on. Once I get everything situated, I carefully take those paper towels out, and that helps with the scuffing. But you may get some scuffing. But anyway, great piece. If you watch some of my work in progress videos, the only thing I didn't go over, and I'm kind of wishing I did, because I'd never done before, was the wet effect right here. And simply what I did, it's actually really, really easy. As many of the techniques I did, they're easy. It just takes time. As I use my my automotive 2-part acrylic polyurethane clear coat, I mixed up a batch, and I simply went in here with a brush and painted it where I wanted it to go. And by doing that, I was able to control where it went. So I basically kind of painted on the top, kind of had it kind of running down the sides of the brick here, also down here. It's hard to see, but down here on this part of the base too, and it's kind of running down the veins a little bit, or not the veins, the vines, and into the brick. I try to make it look as natural as possible. I think for a first time doing this effect, it looks really good. I love the blue that we came up with. It's a nice dark rich tone, and then with a little bit of that weathering on there, it just really adds a lot of dimension to it. The only problems I had in building and painting had nothing to do with the kit, had to do with me being an idiot, is these fins on the arms. I had painted them, I put them on, I dropped this arm like 3 times, breaking these off several times. This arm has been fixed 4 times. Re-gluing, sanding, filling, and painting. I don't know what this material is. It's not resin. I'm thinking it's the 3D printed parts, but every type of glue I tried basically did not want to stick to itself. So I had to glue them directly to the hand and then fill them in. So that was just a pain in the ass having to fix those several times. A bunch of new techniques for me, doing the aged bronze. I did a whole video on that, on how I accomplished that technique. It looks amazing. I love the color of the base and everything. Batman himself, I mean, what can I say? He looks really cool. Slightly weathered. I'm hoping that the factory can replicate this as close as possible with all the different effects I did. Again, I don't know how factories do it, but if you watch the base painting work in progress, that took a good portion of the day just to paint the base, because it's layer upon layer upon layer, building it up, building it up, building it up. But you get all this great depth and dimension doing it that way, rather than just painting a base color and dry brushing. You can do that, but all the different tones I put in there, you can see they're very subtle, but they're there. Same thing with the gray on the Batman. I did the first gray, I didn't like it. I went in, I did that wash, and then I did some more dry brushing and a little more air brushing, and all those different tones on top of each other, they all work together to give this thing a lot of shape and dimension. We went with just the natural skin tone. We played around maybe doing some stubble or 5 o'clock shadow, but we wanted to keep him clean. The cowl, for the most part, is relatively clean. I weathered the neck area kind of around here, and the cape, for the most part, is relatively clean, except for the edges, basically where it would make contact with the ground and kind of up here. Like this point right here, I weathered pretty good. Got the batarangs, and I have the other switch out hand over here, but I'm not going to worry about it. But it's the grappling gun. But just a really cool piece. If you guys, whoever ordered a painted statue or a kit, you're in for a treat. This is a cool piece. I love the pose. I'm a sucker for big flowing cape, and I love the cape. Just a really neat piece. So, just a short video, since if you've been following along, you've seen all the different processes, but there he is. Alpha 3 Batman, sculpted by Avi. It's a great piece. It's a big piece, but it doesn't require a lot of space to display. If you display it like the rendering like this. It doesn't take up a whole lot of depth, and it's not very wide. When I display mine, eventually I'll probably kind of do it at an angle, so it'll take up a little more depth. But cool piece. Really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, so there he is. On the back here, you can see all the shading I did. The other plaque down here, the Acme plaque. Cool. So another thing with doing all these videos, Mark has been able to kind of show the factory some of them and address some of the issues that I found out just by working on it. And they've actually taken some of the videos and tried to rectify some of those small issues that I talked about. So that was helpful to Mark with the videos and stuff. But again, there he is. He's all done. And stay tuned for the next project. This is Matt Mrozik. Catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.